everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm excited to show you my painting technique that turns blue translucent minis into ethereal ghosts. Whether you're a beginner like me or an experienced painter, you'll only need a small amount of paints and tools to achieve this effect. So if you're ready to try something new, then stick around and let's get started. I'll be doing some painting off screen. Now, for paints, I use Army Painter Speed Paint Magic Blue. And then I also use the Army Painter Ionic Blue Air Color Triad. And then you'll also need just a dry brush and a regular paintbrush. We're gonna start with the Army Painter Speed Paint Magic Blue. So we're gonna put some of that on just a plastic some paint on our brush here, and we're just going to do a base coat of that magic blue all over our model. So we've got just a tiny bit of water on our brush, just enough to get it wet. Not a ton, because the water does activate the speed paint. And once we are sure we've gotten a full base coat of our magic blue on our ghost model, we will let it dry before we move on to our next step. Okay, next we're going to start the base coat of this guy here while we wait for the other one to dry. So we will put our magic blue on this guy. And I'm going to finish painting the rest of his base coat off screen. So his base coat is done, so we will let him dry before we move on to the next step. Okay, so we've got our base coat of magic blue done on both our minis, so now we're going to wait for them to dry before we move on to our next step. Okay, once your ionic blue has had a good shake, we're going to take some and put it on our palette. And then we're going to take our dry brush, get some, work it into our bristles. And then we're going to take some onto our paper towel and there. Okay, so we've got some of our ionic blue on our brush already. We've got it worked in and we've got a little bit taken off. So we've left a little bit more on than we typically would for dry brushing. And we're just gonna start getting all of the high points on our mini. And as you can see, we've definitely left more on than we normally would for dry brushing. And we are gonna hit our mini all over with our ionic blue. Getting all those high points, but trying to leave some of the magic blue coming through. Okay, so we've got our smaller dry brush here and we're just finishing up the front. We still have to go and finish up her base, but we will go back and do that later. Okay, so we finished putting our ionic blue on this one, and here we've got our comparison to what it looked like before we did anything to it. So as you can see, we can still see some of the magic blue coming through underneath, and we'll do up the base at the end, but we'll move on to our other mini now and put the ionic blue on that one. Okay, and we've got our second mini here. We're gonna do the same thing. We've got our ionic blue worked into our brush, taking a little bit off, left more on than we normally would for dry brushing. Again, we're gonna start him on screen, but then finish him off screen just for the sake of time. But again, same technique. We're trying to hit all the high points while still leaving some of the magic blue coming through. And we'll be back once we have gotten this next step done. Okay, so we finished our second mini, and this is what it looks like compared to what we started with. So we still have to do the base, but as you can see, you can still see the magic blue coming through. Okay, so here we've got our two completed minis with our magic blue base with our ionic blue heavier dry brush on top. If anybody has any questions on it, feel free to leave them in the comments. Okay, so for our base, we're first gonna do a coat of magic blue on both of our minis. So we're gonna start with that, and then we're gonna let that dry. Okay, so our magic blue is dry, and we're gonna try something a little bit different for the bases on these guys. We're gonna try something that hopefully gives us a little bit of an ethereal effect with these guys. We're gonna just stipple on a little bit of ionic blue. Haven't tried this before, so hopefully it'll work. And we're gonna do the same thing to the other guy for his base. Just gonna stipple on some ionic blue, the whole base. Because with our horse guy, he had kind of a cobblestone base. And these guys just have plain bases with no texture. So same way I did those guys won't really work for these guys. Okay, so here we have our two completed minis. That was a pretty simple way to do the bases. I think it turned out okay. So yeah, that's how I do my ghosts. If anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Again, if you have any questions or comments, don't forget to leave them down in the comment section below, and I'd be happy to answer anything about today's video.